Another weekly rotation down. It's week number 62. Stay tuned. So starting off on Sunday is one that I picked up recently, and yes, this is marketed for the ladies, and yes, I've had people reach out to me and ask if this would be a good present for their daughter and stuff like that, because yeah, it's feminine. It smells like cotton candy, but I absolutely love the smell of cotton candy. Ariana Grande Cloud. Oh man, this stuff is really, really good. Yeah, it has similarities to Baccarat Rouge 540. Much more sweet and playful. That's the best way, man, to describe it. If you like BR 540, you're bound to like this because this is just like a sweeter, more cotton candy-ish take on it, basically. I'm sure this is phenomenal for younger girls. And yes, me being a grown man, I do appreciate the scent profile on this one because, look, I enjoy my masculine fougères just in spicy fragrances and boozy tobaccos and everything just like the next guy. Sometimes you just want to wear something fun. Ariana Grande Cloud is definitely fun. And out the shower that night, I resprayed because I was really enjoying it. I've had several requests to do a full review on this one. I will be doing a full review in the coming weeks on it. So be looking out for that if you're interested. But on Sunday, it was Ariana Grande Cloud. Moving into Monday is a new release from one of my favorite artisan shaving companies, Strike Gold Shave. And the fragrance was done in conjunction with Laughing Saint, which I'll link that video right here if you haven't checked it out yet. Of course, I'm talking about the new original creation, Junto. And it's got a light little oud in the background. The sweetness that I was experiencing, for those of you that saw the video, turns out it's a sweet bourbon that's in here. And it's definitely got a strong amber note. I was spot on with that amber note. Sweet, warm, a little spicy, some tobacco, a little touch of oud. The cedar adds kind of that sharpness to it to go with the woodiness of the oud. The oud's lightly medicinal, but it's not an overbearing oud. This is actually a very, very good fragrance, and it performs too. It lasts and lasts and lasts. And I got to tell you, it makes for one hell of a shave set too, because out the shower that night I used the shave soap and then of course the aftershave splash, which they did restock a few days ago on the Strike Gold website, which I'll have linked below. If you want to get your hands on the shave soap and aftershave splash for Junto, because it did sell out initially, they just restocked. And if you're looking for a great cool weather scent, talking to all my wet shaving guys out here, all my traditional shavers that like artisanal products, you got to restock. You need to check out Strike Gold Shave. And if you're interested in the fragrance, you can get it from Laughing Saint, which I'll also have linked down below. It only comes in this 15 ml decant size, but you don't need many sprays. 3 sprays is plenty with this one. Definitely check it out if it interests you. During the day I was wearing Junto the fragrance, and out the shower that night I used the aftershave splash in conjunction with the shave soap. Moving into Tuesday, this is a fragrance from Argos that I've been spending time with. I put away Triumph of Bacchus so I could, really focus on this particular fragrance when I'm in the mood for just that level of luxury, because that's where I put Argos. It's that high-end level of luxury when it comes to fragrance, and I'm talking about Bacio Immortel. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, I just did a live interview on Instagram Live with Christian, the CEO, perfumer, owner, Mr. Argos himself. If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely check me out. My Instagram is linked below in the link tree, and it's over on IGTV if you want to check that interview out. It's got a lot of cool things coming with some new lines. This is the Italian line with the Greek mythology. They have other lines that are going to be started coming up this year. But I've been spending a lot more time with this one. Don't get me wrong, it does give you the scent profile of a Tom Ford Tuscan leather, but the quality of the oils in here just takes it to that next level. This is the upper echelon of that scent profile, because there's a lot of niche fragrances out there that kind of made their niche take on Tuscan leather, and I feel like this is very close to Tuscan leather as well. It's just the quality of oils that were sourced. It just puts it in a completely different tier and different bracket from that Tom Ford Tuscan leather. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the Tom Ford fragrance, but Argos just does it better to me. You definitely get what you pay for with Argos. These 100 ml bottles are $245 before that 10% off discount code that I have. Sample them. They offer carded samples. That's the best thing you can do. That's how you know for sure if they're for you or not, because you're not going to spend much getting a sample pack, and you'll be able to know. I will be doing a full review on this one. Probably one more wearing before I do an in-depth review on it. But I got to say, when you're in the mood for a fruity leather, Argos Spatio Immortelle, it is so freaking good. Just like with Triumph of Bacchus, it takes what's good about Mancera Red Tobacco, removes the darkness and pungent aspect of it, cleans it up a whole lot, adds some fruits up top, and just really makes a classier, higher quality version of that as well. I mean, there's no denying the similarities with some of these fragrances from Argos, but they just do it on another level. That's the best thing I can say. So definitely check out a sample pack if you haven't. I just finished wearing Argos Spatio Immortelle, and then when I got out the shower that night after having some leather all day, I just wanted something nice and fresh. Don't get me wrong, there's some prominent leather in this as well, not near on the same quality scale, but Sean John 3 a.m. Just fresh fig, a little leather. It's just good. It smells great. One of the best cheapies out there. Bang for your buck. Not a performance monster. It's got some heavy sillage in that first 30 minutes to an hour, but sits a little close to the skin, doesn't really last a long time. Moderate performer at best. But the scent on it's great, and what you can get it for is a steal. I paid like $13 for this 50 ml unboxed on eBay. I see 1 ounce bottles and 50 mls pretty regularly at the rack stores, not all the time, but they're all in that $15-ish range. Sub 20s, you can get a 100 ml around $20, and it's a bargain. This is one of the better cheapies out there, and I haven't wore it in a while, and I was just in the mood for it out the shower that night. You can never go wrong with spraying Sean John 3 a.m. Moving into Wednesday, I finally got around to doing a full wearing. I've had several test sprays on my arm, but I really got to enjoy the warming effect that I was really getting on my chest and my neck from this one. It's Creed Viking. I finally got to really spend some time with this one, and I love this fragrance. I'm not going to sit here and fake it till I make it or deny the love I have for this fragrance. I get where it could be underwhelming for some because it's not a groundbreaking DNA. It will remind you of Old Spice, but if Old Spice was a high quality niche fragrance, it's kind of how you can look at it. This stuff is so good. It really is. Man, I just love it. And I get not a lot of young people will really enjoy this. This doesn't have that mass appeal of newer blue fragrances and Embroxen fragrances. This is definitely a bit classier. This is a little more mature. It's minty. It's a lot of pink pepper. It's spicy. It's got some freshness. And it's got sneaky good performance. It lasts a long time. I got every bit of 8-9 hours off of my skin with this one. Never a heavy projector. About the first hour and a half or so, I had a pretty good little trail going. And you got to get close after that to really smell it. It's not a in-your-face type of fragrance, but that's not how it was designed. It wasn't designed to be. It fills its role perfectly. I feel like this is so understated and underrated. More people should give it a chance. If you're getting tired of the hustle and bustle of all the modern style fragrances and you want something that's kind of just an updated version of a classic with a much higher quality, Creed Viking, check it out. It really is a good fragrance. And then out the shower that night, I had just shot my budget-friendly Creed Aventus video, and I was in the mood for it. I haven't wore this in a long time. Mercedes-Benz Select. Very fresh. Actually great as an out the shower scent. When you want an Aventus style fragrance that doesn't wear heavy. Not that Aventus is a heavy fragrance, but this one's even lighter because there's a lot of bergamot, some smooth Ambroxan, shower jelly type of stuff. Very, very fresh, very underrated. It gets the meh tag, like it's just okay. Don't knock it till you try it. It may be a go-to. This is a fragrance that you'll enjoy more than you even realize you're enjoying it because it just wears so well. It's such an easy wear. It's one that you can just grab and go, wear for anything. You're going to smell clean, fresh. It's going to give you that Aventus kind of vibe without smelling like an Aventus clone because it's not a clone of Aventus. It's definitely inspired by it. It gives you the idea of a Ventus without smelling exactly like it. And it's not a real heavy performer, so it's a light and easy wear. Works well out the shower, which is what I used it for that night. Mercedes-Benz Select. Moving into Thursday, I just featured this fragrance yesterday on 5 wow factor fragrances for men, because this fragrance definitely has the wow factor. It's a fingerprint magnet too. The Gate Fragrances Memories, and you can see all of my fingerprints all over that glass. It's a fingerprint magnet. It's a beautiful bottle when it's clean, but definitely a fingerprint magnet. And every time I smell this, it's got the wow factor. It really does. This beautiful smoked cherry tobacco with this blackberry note that's just kind of supporting the cherry. It's got a maple accord that comes in later. This truly is a stunning fragrance. And it's another one, just like with Argos, where it's on the higher end of the price bracket for what a lot of people would even consider spending. But I urge you, sample it. Go to their website, get your hands on a sample. This is a wow factor fragrance for real. This is the fragrance that sparked the video idea to begin with. This and my, what I wore the following day. So good, so good. I can't say it enough that this is such a freaking amazing fragrance that more people should try. I can see why this is one of their most popular fragrances. It's for good reason, because it will wow you. Just a stunner from the Gate Fragrances, and that's Memories. And then when I got out of the shower that night, we went from a heavier cherry sweet tobacco fragrance to a light fresh aquatic Nautica Voyage Sport, one of my favorite Nautica fragrances, as you can tell by the juice level. Love wearing this one out the shower. I've been really enjoying this one over the last year. This is another one. Clean, aquatic, woody, aromatic, citrusy, fresh. Just super, super fresh. Weak performer, but so what? Spray away, spray it heavy. You're going to smell great for a few hours. You will. And it's super cheap. $15 will get you a 50 ml. Hell, I'll be honest with you, 15 to 17 bucks if you find it in the right spot will get you a 100 ml. It's that good to me. It smells like a bunch of other things. Lacoste Essential Sport, stuff like that. It smells exactly like it. So there's other ways that are just as cheap to smell it, but I'm telling you, you're looking for crisp and clean. That's what I went out the shower that night. Nautica Voyage Sport. Moving into Friday, I was just in the mood for freshies. After spraying Nautica Voyage Sport the night before, I wanted something fresh the next day, and I decided to roll with Summer Vibes from Authenticity Perfumes. This is the newest formula, not the older style yellow batch, the yellow label that I have with the lemonade colored juice. I went with the newer one. Man, it's so soapy clean and fresh. And my wife's exact words to me after I'd sprayed it and walked into the living room was, "Wow, you smell pretty." That was her exact words on this one. And it does get a little powdery later on in the dry down, but it's really, really good. It's very soapy clean up top, very citrusy, shower gel. You will get the shower gel vibe. Like I said in the video I featured it in the other day. But when it starts to dry, that's when it really becomes Summer Vibes. And what I mean by that is that's when it separates itself from that generic shower gel, clean, fresh smell that so many fragrances offer. This one's potent. This one's got a little bit of cannabis in the dry down to add a slightly herbal quality. No, it doesn't smell like weed. This isn't a weed smelling fragrance. When I say it has cannabis in it, it just adds a nice herbal undertone that really changes this one. And like I said, it's potent. This thing projects. It's not a room filler, but it definitely comes close. And it's an all-day spray. For a fresh summer fragrance, very hard to beat. I always have a link for Authenticity Perfumes with a 10% off code below. No reason not to get a sample pack and try them out, because like I said last time, you try this, you get their sample pack, you try this one, this is going to be one of the bottles you're most likely going to want to get your hands on. If not, the main one, because it's that good. It's that fresh, it's that delightful, it's that powerful. And then out the shower that night, we stuck with Nautica Voyage, this time going with the original Sport the night before, the original DNA the following night. Crisp aquatic green apple. That's pretty much what it is. It's crisp, sharp green apple, and it's super fresh and aquatic. They sell so many bottles of this, and look, I get it. Not everybody likes everything, but This is a cheap steal. This is a bargain. This is the one fragrance. If you only got 15 bucks to spend on a fragrance for the heat, you'll be just fine with a bottle of Nautica Voyage. Really. Moderate performer. One of the better performers of the Nautica fragrances. You know, roughly 5 hours range. Which is, for what it is, that's actually pretty damn good, especially for the price bracket. This is kind of a must-have in everybody's collection to me, because it's worth a blind buy, because even if you don't like it, you're bound to find somebody very close to you that will take that bottle off your hands, and you're not going to spend much money. And it's a Russian roulette of fragrances, because more than likely, your chance is higher of you liking it and getting a steal for the $15 or less you're going to spend, versus ending up with that one bullet in the chamber and it being a complete miss for you and you got to rehome it somewhere. But out the shower that night, one of the safest bets in perfumery, Nautica Voyage. Finally, on Saturday, this, along with Memories from the Gate fragrances, were the two fragrances that sparked the Wow Factor video idea, because this fragrance wows me every time I wear it, and it does it for my wife too. It really does. This is so good. I don't understand how it's not more popular than it is. I get it. Everybody likes the EDT and the EDP. I like those too. But to me, Sauvage Parfum, it's the best one. I love it. I get plenty of longevity. Much more projection and sillage than it gets credit for, because it's so easy to go anosmic to this one. It's basically a more citrusy, smokier version. It's warmer, it's deeper, it's full-bodied, and it's got that olibanum in it to add that incensey smokiness. And even though ambroxan's not listed as a note, believe me, there's ambroxan in this bottle. It's Dior Sauvage. It's the Dior Sauvage DNA, just polished. Very polished. This is basically, if Dior Sauvage was bordering into niche territory, this would be the niche version of Dior Sauvage, is how I can explain it to you. It doesn't smell as synthetic. It's much more well-rounded and full-bodied. It's beautiful. It's worthy of a sample. If you like the original, if you like the EDT, I like the EDT too. I get it. That's the one I wear the most, because it's just that easy to grab and go. But for me and my taste, if you're just looking for a more polished, less synthetic version, I'm telling you, sample the Parfum. The Parfum is so good. And then we go from what I would consider a borderline niche fragrance from a designer house, we go to a fun body mist that I came across at Marshall's. And, you know, having Ariana Grande Cloud, for as girly as it is one thing. But when you go ahead and get the body mist too, now we're, you know, $8, $7.99. I figured that for $8, if I don't like it, I know my wife does, you know, or we could share it. But yeah, it's very weak. It smells just like the fragrance. It's very weak. Last night, it smells so good though. Last night I must have sprayed this 16 or 17 times in a span of 3 hours. I'd spray 4 or 5 sprays. Hour later, I'm going back to it, 4 or 5 sprays, because it fades quick. It's a body mist. But for $8, it's basically a form of Baccarat Rouge 540, if you will, that you can just go trigger happy and get wild with for $8. It's kind of how you can look at it. So I'm actually very happy to have this, and I think the next time I see it, I'm going to grab another bottle. You know, if they have 2, I might grab 2, because it's that enjoyable. It's a great out-the-shower spray. It's a great refresher when you're in the mood for a sweeter take on Baccarat Rouge 540. Out the shower that night. Ariana Grande Cloud, the body mist. Well, guys, that was the rotation this week. And until next time, do me a real quick favor and go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. What were some of the fragrances you wore this week? Did you wear one all week long? It was just that kind of week for you? Or did you have a lot of variety like I did? Because I had some cheap, some niche, some indie, some designer, a little bit of everything, as I usually do in my rotations. I like to mix it up a lot. I like variety when it comes to fragrances. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.